You're listening to Honey, We Made a Disney Podcast. Two friends since first grade, now dads reliving the Disney movies we grew up on with our own kids. I'm Eddie Ferguson.
And I'm JB Wagner. And on today's episode, we engage the anti-theft device as we review 1997's Rocketman. But first, Eddie, how's the family doing?
We are doing great. We are just days away from baby number 3 making his arrival to the family.
Wow.
I always hesitate saying like making his arrival or whatever, because it's like he's been here all along, right? He's been in the house. He's been in the family. It's just we actually get to see him and hold him. And hopefully by then we'll have figured out what we're going to name him. That is still up in the air. We're down to our final options.
Do you want to let the podcast listeners know what those options are, or no?
No.
Okay. After we get off there.
After. And then so we're eagerly anticipating that, which means the kids have realized something's about to change.
Yeah.
There's a lot of extra nervous, excited energy kind of flowing. So we have taken to, in the evenings, we live on a very quiet cul-de-sac, right? So not a lot, hardly ever cars are coming through. So we've allowed our kids to just run circles around the sidewalk of
That's a great idea.
Cul-de-sac. Just burn energy, just burn it off. So we're letting Lewis do that and just trying to get rid of some of that nervous, crazy energy. One of our neighbors that we're really good friends with, they come over, we're chatting with them, the 4 of us just there. Sarah's already slipped in to put Ellie down to bed, and we're just talking, and all of a sudden we realize, we don't see Lewis, and we've had our scares. He's run off.
Ooh.
So we're like, Lewis, where are you? And we just hear his little voice from over in the neighbor's yard. Like, I'm over here, mommy. And Sarah goes over there, and Lewis, with his pants around his ankles, is pooping in the neighbor's yard. And he looks up and he goes, "Do I get a cookie? I didn't poop in my pants."
That's amazing.
No, that is not how this works. That is not how this works. And poor Sarah has to go get one of the doggy bags off of the dog's leash to go pick up our son's poop out of the neighbor's
That's
yard.
Amazing.
Luckily, it wasn't the neighbors we were talking to. It was different neighbors, and they were none to the wiser. And boom, we've moved on. So
wow. And you'll be literally moving on soon. So if they did know, you'd be moving on.
We'll be moving in a few months. So yeah. Luckily, we know all of our neighbors really well. We all get along. So even if they did know, they would laugh along with us. But yes. So potty training is always an adventure. So that's what's going on in the Ferguson household.
That's a lot. That's a lot of good things. There's a lot of other good things happening around the Disney entire kingdom right now as they're celebrating the 50th anniversary of Disney World. I know it's not Disney movie news, but we do want to take a second to talk about as this is a big deal for the Disney universe and all of its fans everywhere.
Yes, so Walt Disney World opened in October 1st of 1971 with the Magic Kingdom, which is more or less a clone of Disneyland Park. And it also opened with a couple of resort hotels as well. So it's kind of the huge complex that is Walt Disney World. I would highly recommend, I think it comes out October 8th on Disney Plus. ABC's 2020 news magazine show did like a 2-hour long special, somewhat hosted by Whoopi Goldberg. Like, she just appears whenever they need somebody to say like, and now Christina Aguilera. But that was really well done. Like, they document not just the initial formation, but like the other parks and like what's coming up and different things like that. It was just a lot of a lot of cool stuff. So that'll be coming out on Disney Plus October 8th, kind of celebrating that. But yeah, it's really cool. There's of course the super over the top Disney fans that are complaining because they wish there was, more nostalgia or whatever. And at the end of the day, I just go, you know what? It's a theme park.
It's a theme park.
This isn't meant to be taken that seriously. Like, calm down, everybody. But it was so intense. There was apparently like fist fights in the gift shop on Main Street over, what people thought was like limited edition merchandise, even though you could buy it later that day, no problem. The next day, no problem.
Trying to get it up on eBay as soon as they could.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So always those fun little moments. But yes, Disney World, 50 years old.
I was there at Disneyland the last time we had park passes was right around the end of the Diamond celebration for Disneyland, 60 years. And it was super cool because they had diamond encrusted everything all around the park. What is the stone material, whatever it's called, for 50 years?
Well, so 50 is usually like your golden anniversary.
Okay.
But the color for what they've gone with, you're going to love this. It's called iridescence.
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 Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Wow.
Which is it's beautiful. Great. It's something new for them to market and make a stupid amount of money off of. Good for them.
I have a coworker who is a very big Disney fan, and she was born the day after the Disney World's anniversary. Like, so every year,
Saturday was her birthday.
Yes. So she has a birthday on Saturday, the day after whenever the annual park celebration is for Disney World every year.
Yeah.
It works very well because she's a huge Disney fan. So
it's like it was meant to be.
She also does, I believe that she does like plans out park trips for people if they want to. And she's been, if I haven't been, basic kind of, but not really. Yeah. So she's been the go-to person. If I haven't been able to get a hold of you, she's the backup of the person. Or if she's just like, hey, you walked past my desk and I had a question for you about the Disney trip that we're planning or whatever.
Yeah. No, if she really is a Disney travel agent, we did this a while back when we did we usually camp when we go. So you don't really need a travel agent for that.
Yeah.
But for like a normal hotel stay there, it's great to have a travel agent because what people don't know is you don't pay for the travel agent. Disney pays for the travel agent to take care of everything. So you just let this person do all of the searching for deals and figuring out the cheapest way to do everything. And it's an easy breezy for you. They can tell you what to do and you don't have to pay them a dime. Disney does it.
We will for sure be using a travel agent when we do our mega Disney World trip in the coming years. 100%.
Which mega Disney World trip? Because there's two.
I don't know if I was just saying in general, we are going to do a Disney World trip where we're going to spend a lot of money to have a big experience.
That's what I'm saying. There's two to my knowledge. There's the one where you guys go and your wife fulfills her dream of staying in the Grand Floridian, which is just.
I don't think we're going to do that. If we did that,
Ferguson
it'd be
will never.
No, you'll never pay for that.
And then one day there's going to be the big Ferguson Wagner where we wear matching t-shirts every day. Or, just do it up. The big dual family trip.
Yep, that's still on the horizon. But yes, going and spending a lot of money.
That you just used the same tone of voice that you used earlier when you said, we could do that.
I literally didn't care earlier.
You care now.
No, I was just continuing the thought. I wasn't trying to, whatever. Now this has gotten weird. This has gotten so weird. Just trying to have a conversation here. We've all made it weird now. So thank you all the listeners, all the 2 of you that when it started at 12, now down to 2. Okay. Any other cool things that you've heard about the 50th anniversary that they're doing? Are they doing a special World of Color kind of a thing, or?
Yeah, both Magic Kingdom and Epcot got new nighttime shows, and they've done little sprinkles of magic all throughout. Probably the coolest thing that I've seen is Spaceship Earth, what people think of as the giant golf ball outside of Epcot. They did like this really cool LED lighting package on it, which just turns the whole ball into like a giant screen where they can do really amazing lighting effects on it. So it's like, wow, that looks amazing. I can't wait to see that in person one day.
Got to binge watch all of the Disney YouTubers as they kind of show all the different things after we get off of here.
Yeah.
It's going to be good stuff. But what else is good stuff is the movie we're about to review today.
Really good stuff.
A classic. You sent me a photo of you and all your family and extended family sitting down to watch this all together. Thought maybe I should have done that too, but my kids did watch part of it. So, but today's movie that we are watching for episode number 54, ladies and gentlemen, 54 episodes of this podcast, and today's episode is 1997's Rocketman.
Cue the Disney sound effect.
We have to be specific because this is not 2019's Rocketman.
No.
About Elton John, although he does make a guest appearance in the end credits scene, but not That's scene, true. Just the music. But anyways, so IMDb description for 1997's Rock. I'm just going to keep on saying that. Every time I say Rocketman, 1997's Rocketman. 1997's Rocketman. Okay, here we go. Fred Z. Randall is a geeky spacecraft designer who gets the chance to make his dream come true and travel to Mars. What do you think?
This is a solid description. This is straight down the line.
As a point of order or note or whatever, is he he's just trying to travel to space. I don't know if Mars specifically is his dream, because when he's like in the dryer in the opening scene, he's just looking at a picture of space, of like Earth from space. Yeah. No,
just
point of contention. Point of contention.
You make a valid argument. So, was this a staple in the Wagner household growing up? Was this a common?
Eddie, this was not just a staple. This was, I don't know. What's funny is I don't think we ever rewatched it, but we gave Blockbuster a lot of our money. A lot of our money went to watching and rewatching and renting and re-renting this movie over and over again. It is one of 2 moments that I can remember vividly. I've never seen my dad laugh harder than this and a Christian comedian stand-up video.
Yes.
That both of those 2 was my dad just like out and out, like crying, sobbing. He was laughing so hard. So this movie has very strong ties to our family.
We first saw this in 1998, I want to say. So every year we would travel on Thanksgiving down to Florida. And on our way, we would stop and visit some old friends in Charlotte.
And is Charlotte on the way?
It isn't the most direct route, but it is kind of on the way. I think you add maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Oh, okay. It's not that bad. Okay.
No, and to visit with old friends, and we'd spend Thanksgiving with them. So this family is like, oh my goodness, we saw this new movie. You've got to watch it. And I remember that, like, that's such a strong memory in my childhood of being at their house and we all gathering up and watching Rocketman for the first time, and everybody laughing so hard that they were just crying. And it became just kind of a staple movie in our house that, like, if we wanted to have a big family movie night and not watch like a more serious movie, like Mom always wanted to watch Iron Will, we would watch. Dad would advocate for Rocketman because Dad's a big fan. So to relive that memory, this past weekend, we surprised my dad with a big retirement party. And so my sister and her whole family were in town. And so everybody got together. I popped the popcorn, of course, and we watched Rocketman all together. And I can't remember the last time we all watched it together. And still, like, my dad is just laughing the hardest out of all of us. Just crying. And my nephews loved it. Everybody was laughing. And yeah, it was just so much fun. It's just a lighthearted, fun, silly, funny movie, right? Like it's still got, like, I don't know, a 22 maybe on Rotten Tomatoes. Like it's a low score.
It is not a highbrow comedy. It is not.
No, like this is fart jokes. This is
monkey jokes.
Just like monkey jokes, silly, over the top humor. That is, but done so clean, so well that is, you just can't.
In no way is it supposed to be taken seriously whatsoever.
Right. The premise is a stretch. Yeah. There's definitely some of those moments where you're like, they just magically have an anti-gravity device on board. Well, that just made filming cheaper, and it was a throwaway piece of dialogue. So
now every time I think of whenever people do anti-gravity, just things in general where they're filming it, it always reminds me that the only way they can really get that without using like wires and stuff like that, which doesn't look real, is they have to go up in a plane and have the plane basically do a nosedive kind of a thing. That's the only way you can get that gravity experience and look. And so if they want to do longer scenes, they have to do that over and over and over again. So you're right.
Which is what they did for Apollo 13.
That's right. Apollo 13. There was another movie recently that
they built this set inside an airplane. Yes, so this is a stretch, but let's just begin with what is his name?
Harland Williams.
Harland Williams. This guy is just a tour de force in this movie, right? Like there are just
literally blowing through walls.
Yes. I think I think the only movie that I quote more, which you sent me a brilliant article on this past weekend, which we need to have a discussion about possibly just reviewing that movie in this podcast, just because.
Just finding room for it.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about this. But That Thing You Do is by far my favorite movie, hands down, no questions asked. Try and fight me on that, and I will win. Maybe I quote that more. This is a close second, right? I can't tell you how many times a day I say sweet swirling onion rings.
Sweet swirling onion ring.
Fun is my Chinese neighbor's middle name.
Also probably a line they probably wouldn't do in the 2021 remake of it.
No. Yeah, it was a mistake. Where he says, sorry, I didn't see you there. Yeah, just like the captain of the Exxon Valdez didn't see Alaska floating there.
Mine is definitely
that was the line that as soon as that line drops, boom, everybody lost it, and we were like back into just laughing our faces off the whole time. Yeah,
there is just an endless amount of lines that I just would quote as a kid, just like all of these random. And sometimes I even forgot now, thinking about them, where they actually came from, but like better engage the anti-theft device. Then he just takes the wheel off. But nine trips actually, but who's counting? He's like, well, apparently you are my friend.
You are my friend.
Definitely one. There's just so many.
I love when he's before the computer, when they come into his office and he's yep, there it is. Got it. And they're like, what? It's popcorn kernel that's been stuck in my molar for 2 weeks.
And it's not the most amazing writing, but he's just selling it as this weird dude.
He delivers it perfectly. Now let's enter what I like to call the correct coordinates.
The correct. We're going to use my calculation to see what we call the right way.
The right way. I use that one a lot too.
Yeah, there's just, but definitely when his voice correction is like, "Mom, I'm 30 years old. I'm almost a full grown man." Like when you quote it, you also have to use that phrase.
I'll take the rocket ship.
But when the whole hyperspace sleep stuff, when Ulysses gets in his seat and he's just like, "Tale as old as time, Ulysses. Boy falls for girl, girl falls for boy." Girl falls into hyperspace and he just like goes off that whole, and then when he like wakes up the first time, he's like, "Oh, 8-month-old morning breath," and it's been 13 minutes. Just like all of that was just like, this is just dumb, and they don't make movies like this anymore. I think we're on a stretch of these where it's like they just don't make them like this anymore. Sometimes for good reason, but for this, it's just like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if I would have loved this movie this going about now, but there's just so much. It takes me right back to where I was in elementary school when we saw this.
Yeah. Well, it's got a little bit of something for everybody. It's just kind of, again, a fun all family film that is just doesn't take itself serious, so you don't have to take yourself serious.
And you shouldn't take yourself seriously while watching this, or kind of hand in if you feel that you're very much a cinephile, you kind of have to hand it in your cinephile card while you watch this movie.
And I think maybe the moment that you may be questioning that until when he meets the chimp and he starts speaking to the chimp. And then there's the scene where Julie is outside the glass and she's talking. And he is back there, like the monkey is bitten onto his hand and just flying all over the place.
The sock puppet monkey.
Physicality, yes. But the physicality of that whole sequence is just, and maybe that's what sells it, right? And who's the actor who plays William Overbecker? Because he plays
William Sadler.
Yeah, William Sadler. Like that. I think that is what is so crucial in a good, over-the-top, crazy character.
Yeah,
is you gotta have the straight-faced guy right next to him.
Mm-hmm.
And if that straight-faced guy doesn't sell it and hold it, it doesn't give you a counterbalance. It doesn't give you something to see that person off of, which really makes that so much funnier, right? You go back to one of my favorite examples of this is Stefan on SNL with Seth Meyers.
Yep.
I think there's something about having the straight face of Seth Meyers, and they're trying to get the straight face guy to lose it the whole time. That makes that tension even greater. Mm-hmm. And you feel that here between William Sadler and Harlan Williams.
Same thing with Drunk Uncle.
Sell it.
Same thing with Drunk Uncle.
Yes.
I don't think that's anybody. Like even just though, like that's not me. That's not anybody.
Some other rather iconic moments in this one. We've got a few to click through here. Let's start with him losing the American flag, having to hang up his boxer shorts that are American flag. Just epitomizes this whole film, right?
Getting everybody to sing "He's Got the Whole World in His Hands" while he's also has blue hair and blue face on him.
Yeah, and that also is the sequence that would not pass in 2021. I think
singing in other languages.
Yeah, pretending to. yeah, somebody in my family was like, "Oh, yeah,
Chanel,
not getting away
Chanel
with that these
number
days."
5.
And then, of course, I think the biggest gag of the whole thing is when they have to connect spacesuits, and
Oh, yes.
he of course farts, and the classic line that he gives throughout the whole movie is, "It wasn't
Wasn't
me."
me. It was Julie. Now
He's
that
like,
was
"We're
the one we definitely quoted over and over again. Now that was
now
Julie.
that was Julie.
Yep.
We're 95 million miles from the nearest human."
But they still make him like they don't go so far to not still make him lovable. I'm very interested in like what it is that just draws us in, even though this guy is a complete klutz and makes all the wrong. Is it
So I
just
was
because?
thinking about
Yeah.
this. I think there's two key moments in this movie. The first one, a little bit comes across as absurd, but you're like, it's also endearing, right? When he's walking on the gangway and Bud gives him the coin, and he has that moment, and I think this is,
Beautiful.
I feel like the Cowardly Lion,
And he
and
sings it.
he just sings it, but then he sells it, and he goes like, one, he's got a good voice on him, and he just sells it, and you got the whole end where it's just like, you know, just say thanks for the cool coin, Bud. It really means a lot to me. Oh, okay. Then the second moment that I think really endears him is when I wish upon a star, or when you wish upon a
Oh,
star.
yeah.
And he's looking out the window, and he's got a really good voice, and it's this silly, over the top, but also at the same time, lovable, endearing moment. And that's kind of where you see the Julie character start to fall for him a little bit. And you can go, oh, I can see why he's the lovable idiot.
I think it also helps that he does actually provide some level of like doing the right thing. And
Yeah.
also he's not, yes, he isn't kind of like a crazy person, but we've got the whole scene where he shows, no, if you do the coordinates the right way, and he shows, and while
He
he's
knows
kind
what
of
he's doing.
yeah, he knows what he's
He
doing.
saves the day.
He saves the day. So you have to have some level of that where they can't just like be a complete idiot that can't do anything right. That just at some point you're going, no, you still need to go sit over here in the corner while we go solve the problem. And that's a very fine line. And this is where I know that we've had our battles in the past, you and I, about Mr. Bean humor. There's a part of me that feels like it goes too far down the ridiculousness, sure. And it never at least has some moments that are closer to, okay, but he still did the right thing here. Or even while he's being goofy, like animating the sounds of the thing coming down to Earth, it's doing the thing that it was supposed to do. It's just he's being over crazy with it.
Yeah.
So I think it's some combination in there, but it also just helps that Harlan Williams like fully commits to this weird character that we've got other people that have kind of been close to it, but he just brings a very specific twist to this kind of offbeat hero character.
Yeah, and it's, I don't know, you've got it's got good pacing all the way throughout. I don't think that there's really ever a moment where you
no lulls.
You feel like it. Yeah, and I think sometimes offbeat comedy like this lingers in some of its absurdity a little too long, and there's obviously, these are just little bits, right? Like it's, okay, let's put him in isolation now. Let's put him on the spinny thing. Let's put him on that. Okay, we're going to bit, but they don't overdo it, right? Like they don't spend too much time dragging out that setup. It's just like boom, boom, move, boom, boom, move. And that pacing of it, I think, is what kind of helps move it along, keep it flowing. And like it just keeps hitting you one right after another. Especially
literally hitting you.
Yeah. And that training sequence, like there's the as he's beginning, to be, he's training to see if he's up to par. It's just got one funny bit right after another, which culminates for me one of my favorite moments that I I laugh so hard every time. I was crying laughing this time. My niece and nephews were like, "Are you crying?" I was like, "Yes." Um, is when he finds out that he gets to be the astronaut and he just starts screaming hysterical.
Yeah.
The unadulterated, pure bliss of emotion there. I love it. I love it so much. So funny.
And it feels it's weird how he's like screaming in this high pitched voice, but it feels so true to what that guy would. It's not what you were expecting, but
It's not what you're expecting.
Not what
at
you're
all.
expecting from the moment of this full grown man, like we said before, like getting what he wants, but he's fangirls immediately
but it's
can't
what
control him.
Every single one of us would do. Like, I guarantee you, if I got
to meet JJ Abrams,
sure, but I mean, like, somebody said, "Hey, you get to go to space." That would be my reaction. Like, I would just freak out. Not even space. Just let me go to like adult space camp. I would scream.
Yeah, that's a movie. Probably not in the.
Space
don't Google
camp.
that. Don't Google adult space camp.
No. Space Camp is a movie, and it was you can watch it for free on YouTube, and it stars Joaquin Phoenix.
Did we watch that in sixth grade? Did we watch that?
I watched it all the time. So I
feel like we watched that like in school though. I feel like that was in sixth grade, maybe about the time we were done the Challenger and other things like that.
Possibly,
or maybe it was a little bit. No, maybe it was before that because we did Space Challenger in like was that? What grade
middle
was
school.
That? It was middle school.
Seventh grade. Yeah, no, I was so excited to go do the Challenger Center and wouldn't stop bugging Mr. Pointer about it. That they actually let me stay all day and do both parts of it because I just annoyed them so much to get to do it. They're like, well, we need one other person, and Eddie's a little excited. And when they told me that, I may have screamed like Fred Randall screamed.
It is weird that they took this moment of a complete horrible tragedy and turned it into a kids kind of theme park thing in
random, you're talking about
the Challenger Center.
No, it was now we're going down a rabbit trail. This is a
deep rabbit trail, but it's based off of the Challenger the explosion happened, and there was somebody from our little town on it, and then they created this little challenge. Am I wrong on this? Am I completely mixing up all of my history?
You're totally mixing up all of your history. So, Challenger.
Are you on the website right now?
I'm making sure I get all my dates right. So Challenger was a space shuttle that blew up on January 28th, 1986. On board was going to be the first civilian in space. She was a teacher by the name of Krista McCullough. And in honor of her passing, her loss on the Challenger explosion, as a reaction to that, one of the things they did was they wanted to teach young students all around the country about science and engineering using space. And so they created this thing called the Challenger, Challenger Center for Space Science Education. And so towns could apply for this to be built in their town. They had to raise up a certain amount of money, and this organization would come and build a Challenger Center in honor of the teacher that was lost during the Challenger disaster. And so it was an educational thing where you got to spend some time where you were on one side of it, you were out on the space station, or you could be down in mission control and you would simulate all of those things.
So I was right, other than the woman was. You
called it a theme
here.
Park, and no, she's not.
It's kind of like it's an attraction.
No. It's an educational experience.
It's an educational experience before experiences were a big thing.
It is no longer here in Brownsburg.
Did they move it or did they shut it down?
They shut it down, and the schools have used the building for something else now.
It's sad days.
How are we going to
remember? How are we going to remember?
By watching Rocketman over and over.
Yep. The song Rocketman is in the credits, the first song. That was my first ever experience of that song.
Oh, really?
Because of that movie. For a long time I didn't know that was who sang that. Anything else about it. I just knew, that's the end credits song of Rocketman.
The same guy who did The Lion King.
Exactly.
Yeah. So did you guys watch all this together, or did you watch it by yourself?
No, we watched it together until my kids had to go to bed. So I think they somewhere, or no, we watched it all before they went to sleep. I think we finished it, or there was like the end scenes. I think was all that we had. All that we had left. The last tale as old as time. Ulysses. For the second round of it. They enjoyed it. The first half, there was the thing my son kept on doing. He kept on the most annoying part of the entire thing is what he would repeat. The John Jacob Jingleheimer. He would do that over and over and over again, not knowing what he was doing, but that was his favorite part.
Somebody stole my pants.
Did Lewis watch this with you?
Yeah.
So my son, he was into it for bits and pieces of it, and he would laugh at stuff, but then he kind of lost interest and would kind of move on and go do something else. My daughter, same thing. It wasn't like a glued from beginning to end.
Right.
But he did enjoy all the monkey stuff, and
of course.
Yeah. So and I don't think my wife was totally into it, and then just moments she would laugh. She would be like, okay, I can't help it. This is funny. What's happening right now. And by the way, the Mona Lisa that he paints with all the food is pretty spectacular. It looks kind of nothing like them, but at the same time, it's pretty amazing the stuff that they did with all the different colors and stuff like that on the ceiling of the place.
Yes. Michelangelo would be quite proud. It was the I think it's the incarnation of man, or the touch of God, right? Because it's the finger one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is quite impressive.
We do need to mention that if you are really big into CGI stuff like that, you should not watch this film. It's some of the worst CGI of any of the movies that we've watched.
Low production value.
Oh,
low.
Some of the production value is pretty good. Like where they go to, where it feels like you're in like a NASA
so they filmed center. On location. They filmed at Johnson Space Center in Texas.
There's some of those scenes are super fun, and they're out in the main control center and all that kind of stuff. But no, anything that requires any CGI is bad. It's Mars. Every second that they're on Mars is bad. It's just not good. What's from the very first opening show of the title sequence, like that, the star coming in and revealing the Rocketman logo. It's just all bad. The entire movie. I'd hate to go this entire day without calling that out. We got to make sure that's obvious. This is a bad. They spent like $2 on CGI.
Yeah, no, they definitely spent their money on talent and location shots.
Mm-hmm.
This movie was made for $16 million.
Okay.
The box office grossed $15.4 million.
Ooh, so this was cult classic straight to DVD or after after DVD.
Yeah, it made its money, or it kind of came back through VHS and all that. But it is not available on Disney Plus. We didn't mention that yet. I had to rent it through iTunes.
I rented it as well. My sister, because I sent a photo to my family that I was watching it, and they were all super excited. And my sister, Karina, was super excited. She's like, "Oh, what platform is that on Disney Plus? I'm going to go watch it right now." I'm like, "No, we had to rent it." And she was like, "Oh." And I don't think she ponied up the money because she wasn't having to watch it for the
I will tell you,
podcast.
I am curious, like, why. I just want to know, like, why is this not on Disney Plus? Like,
There's 2 movies in a
why
row we haven't had it.
2 movies in a row? And it's just like odd movies. Like, Enchanted is not on Disney Plus. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that was a huge Disney hit for them. Like, why? What is that one little legalese thing that's holding this up? Like, is it Rocketman in the credit scenes? Like, what is it? Did they not get the credit, have the streaming license for him to sing the Cowardly Lion song? Like, I'm just curious.
Eddie, there's a website just dedicated to
Yeah.
what's on disneyplus.com.
But they don't give clear explanations all the time.
So this says there's over 800. That sounds extravagant. Over 800 Disney-owned films and shows missing from Disney Plus.
Really?
I'm very interested to go through this and see. I would just love some of that as well. Ooh, Thumbelina. I haven't thought about that movie or whatever in forever. I did see that there's because of our last conversation about Air Bud, they've been promoting a lot of the Spooky Buddies.
Yes. So Lewis is obsessed with all things spooky Halloween, right? So we're trying to keep him away from seeing that exists out there in the universe.
You don't want to go down that road?
No, I do not. I do not. Well, we've come to that moment where we must rate this. If you are new to listening to us, we chose the metric of fruit snacks as the best. So JB,
with occasionally jumping to gummy worms if it's really a special Mount Rushmore level.
How many out of 5? How many fruit snacks would you give this?
So it's hard because it's really not a good movie. It's really, the majority of it is if you're in the mood for slapstick and it's pure, and you watch this as a kid, which we did ad nauseum. I don't know that anybody first time watching this thing is going to be like, this is an amazing film. Now maybe your nieces and nephews really enjoyed it, but I'm gonna give it a 2.
Whoa.
Watching it even this time, it brought up good memories, but I'm probably not going to turn this on for a while. Like, it wouldn't be like a rewatchable all the time kind of thing for me. It was a fun experience to go back and rewatch it and remember all the lines that I'd forgot about, but I don't know that I'm going to be queuing this up again anytime soon.
Wow, it's been a while since we've had such disparity between
Is this going gummy worms for you?
No, it's not going gummy worms, but I just want to point out Roger Ebert gave this film 3 out of 4 stars.
Wow. I would love to know why.
He calls it a wacky comedy in the Jerry Lewis, Jim Carrey mold, which I'd agree with. So I actually, I was going to give it 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
Yes. If this wasn't behind a paywall, like if this was on Disney Plus, we would definitely be watching this a lot more. And like I said, I quote this movie at least on a weekly basis. Just
if it's sweet swirling onion rings, at least.
Oh yeah. So
it's
4 out of 5. It has been watched many times. It will be watched many times before. Yes, it's wacky, crazy, stupid comedy, but it's done so well. And it's just right across the plate for me in that category. I don't like it all the time, but this is, yeah.
Okay. I figured you were going to have a higher one. I just didn't realize that we would be 2 stars apart from each other. And even as I'm thinking, maybe it is better than I think when
I thought you were going to give it a 3. Like I thought, okay, JB's going to throw this right down the middle.
I think maybe because I was at times the only one laughing while watching it, and you were surrounded by
this is true.
fellow Rocketman lovers yourself. So
we need to call different. All Wagners, get them together.
Do it. Everybody turn it on at the same time. We're going to Zoom, watch it together.
That's what you should do. The next time you guys are all together, kids,
I should rent it, and then we just watch it all together. You should rent it
and watch it all together.
Let my dad cry, laugh throughout the entire thing. Yeah. Maybe I think that's what's differentiating it, because I felt like
there is something about almost seeing watching your it alone. Father laugh hysterically. Yeah. That really, that does something.
Okay, so I think that's the difference in this. Maybe if I had seen this with my family, it'd be closer to 3. Like if we'd watched it on our mega family vacation, not mega family vacation, our family vacation back in April, I think maybe it would have been different. I'll have to look into that, bringing that to
you
next time.
You can call it mega. It's okay.
But we already talked about a mega Disney World, and now we're talking about this. There was 2 mega Disney Worlds. There's just too many. Too many.
No, live a mega life. You live the mega life you want to make.
Live a mega life. That's the.
Should that be our tagline?
That's our tagline.
Live a mega life.
Live a mega life. And one way you can live a mega life is by going and reviewing us wherever you listen to podcasts. Please subscribe to Honey We Made, a Disney podcast, and wherever you get your podcasts at, leave us a review. If you're also interested in the movies we have coming up or the ones we've already done in our trek from 1988 through 2005 of all the major Disney releases, you can go check out that list at honeywemade.com/movies. And Eddie, you're about to say something.
I was going to say, speaking of comedic geniuses, in next week's episode, we see one of the greatest comedians of all time, in maybe not his best movie, but we'll talk about it next week. That, of course, is Robin Williams in Flubber.
So we're going to bounce around on that next episode.
Ooh, I see what you did there.
I see what you did there. Any final words, Eddie? Not even gonna say anything. You're just gonna let it bounce away from you.
That was just so good. I just gotta let you have that.
We're just gonna have to edit all this ending stuff out and just end it with that. Well, that's it. Thanks for listening.